What's happening, everybody? Chris here. Thank you for tuning in to a video from Wicked Repairs. I know it's been quite some time. If you follow my channel, you know that it's been a long time since I posted a video. Winter time's over. Springtime's starting to kick into gear. You can see right here behind me that my carport that I do a lot of stuff out of took a big beating this year. I've had it for years now. I've had it for like 4 years. So it's lasted me a long time. I mean, honestly, it owes me nothing after this amount of time that I've had it and the amount of stuff I've done inside of it. I wish it lasted a little longer, of course, but that's just what happens with these things, especially when you leave them up throughout the winter. So you get ice and snow and rain and sun and everything that beats down on these things makes them brittle. We've had some crazy storms, and this thing has withheld for a long time. But today I have a Toro mower. We're going to kind of go through real quick. I'm going to show you some stuff that I do to get my lawn mowers, to get everything ready for the season. I got my Cub Cadet riding mower back here. I'm going to go through that as well one of these days soon. And I'm going to show you how to, the best way that I find to put a snowblower away for the summer, or any machine that you're going to let sit for any period of time, really. I'm going to show you with that snowblower what to do, best case scenario, to try to keep your carburetors clean, to try to make sure that when the time comes to use these machines again, you're ready to use them. So I got my Toro mower in front of me. It's a recycler, 22-inch recycler. I have had a video in the past of cleaning the carburetor on this thing, I believe. And so I'm just going to go through it. Obviously, one thing you always want to check when you're starting your anything is oil. So if it's a 4-stroke and you have engine oil, check the oil. Make sure it has adequate oil. Should probably change it. I'm not going to change this yet till I get it running and know that it's running. Then I'll change it. But I'm going to inspect the spark plug on it. I know that the blade is pretty good, but it's also kind of beat. I'm not going to replace it yet. Maybe I'll sharpen it soon, but I want to make sure it's running first before I do anything to it, really, and put too much time and money into it. So one thing I am going to do is inspect the air filter, inspect the spark plug, and I'm going to pop off the bowl for the carburetor and just check the inside, maybe give it a quick little squirt with carburetor cleaner, and then see how it runs. So here's the mower. It's just a push mower here. Of course, you got your oil check here, your dipstick. It has plenty of oil in it, perhaps too much from the way that looked. Got to check that real good with 2 hands here, but this is where your spark plug is going to be, right in the front here. Your air filter, you're going to pop these tabs here and check that out. It is a little dirty. I believe I have replacements for it. If you do not have a replacement for it and it is filthy, then you definitely want to replace it, or at least clean it out, you know, with some compressed air. And then what I'm going to do is right here on the bottom, there's two 10 millimeter nuts. I'm going to put a container or some rags or something underneath here. Crack these loose and take the bowl off, just to at least inspect in there, see what it looks like. Make sure there's no debris in the bottom of the bowl that might have settled over the winter time. And we're going to clean that up real quick. Another thing you're going to want to do is just kind of inspect your fuel lines, you know, any kind of vacuum lines or anything like that you may have. And then I have these pair of hose pliers, and I'm going to take these pliers, I'm going to pinch off the fuel line down here, just so that when I open up the carburetor, it doesn't just constantly flow fuel out of it. There is fuel inside the tank. It does smell okay, surprisingly, but I do stabilize it, and I did put some fresh fuel in it before the end of the season. So I think overall it might be okay, but there's probably going to be some sediment in there, maybe even some water separation. So before you even start the machine, I would definitely take off your carburetor bowl and look at that. So I popped the bowl off. I just took that one single screw off the very middle, popped the bowl off, and on the tip of that screw is this little white gooey stuff. And check this out. This is exactly why I don't start anything until I look at a carburetor. Because if I started this up, if the jets weren't clogged right now, then they're going to be clogged with that. Look at this. Look at that. Let me tap it out right here. Look at this. That's all coagulated fuel. It's water that has separated from the fuel maybe froze over the winter, got softened, and it's just nastiness. So we're gonna clean all this up. I got a can of carb clean. We're gonna just take any type of carb and choke cleaner. I got the Stable brand. I do like this one, and we're gonna clean all this up, get all that jellyfish substance out of there. Make sure we clean up inside here pretty good, and then we're gonna continue with inspecting the spark plug and reassembling, and just make sure it runs. The oil was slightly overfilled, but not too much. I'm not too worried about it. You know, I'll get it running first and then double check it when it's hot, but chances are I might suck up, like, I don't know, 2 ounces of oil maybe. It really wasn't bad. So all right, we'll continue to clean this carburetor real quick. Alrighty, so basically we remove the spark plug, and there it is. It's actually pretty good looking. Sometimes the looks of them, you never know until you run it. But that's basically how you want it to look, like a whitish to light chocolatey brown. So it's, I mean, most machines run a little lean now, where it's going to be more white than brown, but if you look closer, there's a little bit of browning on it. I mean, the spark plug is probably fairly new from last year, or cleaned and reinstalled maybe that I did, but a chocolatey brown is the most perfect air to fuel ratio, and how a spark plug should look. If it's black, it's really rich. If it's white, it's really lean. Chocolate brown, right in between, is where you want it to be. You know, there is some adjustment you can do to repair that or fix it to try to get it stoichiometric, which would be the perfect air to fuel ratio, but it's very difficult with these small engines. So as long as it looks good and it's not blackened and falling out or really super wet or anything, like a needle valve is getting stuck in your carburetor and dumping fuel into your motor, then you're good to go. So we're going to reinstall this and just about ready to start it up. Now we're going to fire it up and see how it is. Always check your cables, make sure that they're free and moving. I got all kinds of debris all over this thing from sitting all winter, but everything seems good and smooth. Of course, you should always lube your cables, make sure they are moving smoothly, but overall it seems okay. I mean, at least it runs. It's not running perfectly. It is surging a tiny bit, so I might mess with the fuel air mixture screw a little bit and see if that fixes it. You can see the grass is getting long already. There's leaves everywhere I still need to pick up. So yeah, that's pretty good though to get this thing running rather quickly. I mean, literally it took me 15 minutes to go through this thing and get it running and make sure it was running. Had I started this before I took off that carburetor bowl, who knows, it probably wouldn't have ran, or it wouldn't have ran very long, and then it would have been more issues and it would have been more difficult to have to take the whole carburetor apart and really clean through it a lot. So there you go. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon on our next video. Well, did a pretty good job back here where my dogs go to the bathroom. Went and picked up all the doggy bombs, and I'll tell you, some of the grass in this area was knee-high easily. So took it right down, ran like a champ. Good to go for another week.